Working some basic abs crunches for this one. So you can see that I've got my knees bent and my feet are flat on the floor. I've got my elbows side to side and I'm looking straight up so that I'm not yanking at my neck. Your lower back doesn't leave the floor at all. It's a crunch and not a sit up. Your turn. Abs tucks for this exercise. So you can see that I'm starting with extended legs, feet and knees together, and then I'm bringing my knees all the way back to my chest and then releasing all the way until I've got straight legs again. Your lower back doesn't leave the floor and you can see that I've got my head lifted in order to support my spine. Your turn. Basic hips raise for this exercise. So you can see I've got my feet at shoulder width and I'm lifting all the way up to a point where I'm going past straight line from my knee to my shoulder. Now you can see my hands are on the floor for support as well, so you're welcome to do that too. Your turn to try this one. Working a plank saw for this one. So starting from the elbows with your hands parallel, no dipping or arching of the back, we're going to push as far forward as we can and then we're going to return as far back as we can as well. Your turn. half rollover for this exercise. You can see I'm using vertical arms in order to give me a guide, and I'm trying to keep my knees as straight as I can while throwing up those rollovers. Now I'm going to come back down, but I'm going to make sure I don't touch the floor, so you want that engagement of the lower abs, and then going straight back into it once again. Your turn. Starting from an elbow plank, we're going to go into an obliques rotation. So what you want to do with this one is point your hand up into the air. You've got to make sure your arm's vertical when you do it, and this basically requires a 90-degree torso rotation. Your turn to try this one. Starting from what looks like a supine plank, we're going to work a crisscross. Okay, so all it is just opening those legs up. Knees have got to remain nice and straight, and just switching between which leg is on top. So it's basically like semicircles around each other. Make sure your lower back is pinned against the floor and your shoulder blades are lifted in order to protect your back for this one. And again, just making sure that the legs remain nice and extended. Your turn to try it. Working some side knee drops for this one. So you can see that I'm starting off with my feet in a tabletop position, trying to keep the knees and the ankles together as much as I can. And I've got some T's going with my arms so that it can support me and prevent me from tipping over. You want to try and get to the edges as much as you can without tipping. Your turn to try this one. working some gator knee strikes from an elbow plank position. Very important not to dip your hips on this one, and make sure you don't lift up with your bum too much either, because you don't want to lose engagement of your core when you do it. When you throw the knees, they should come outside of your elbows. Your turn to try it. Slow bicycle kicks for this exercise. So really important, you can see that I've got my weight on my elbows and I've got my shoulder blades right off the floor. So I'm creating a contraction before I get started. And then it's just bicycle kicks, but they're quite slow. So you can see I'm pushing out with one heel and then tucking it in and pushing with the other. Your turn to try this one. Side plank for this one. So you could do this the traditional way with both your feet stacked together, or you could do it the way I'm doing it with your top foot in front. Now you want to make sure that you're holding a straight line from your ankle all the way to your shoulder. So watch for that and don't allow your hips to dip down. Make sure your shoulder's comfortable underneath you and that you're holding a vertical line with your arm. Your turn. Supine swimmer kicks for this exercise. So you can see I've got my shoulder blades lifted and I've got my arms by my side to support me on the floor. I've got my legs extended and my toes pointy and just working those swimmer kicks from there. Let's go for 45 seconds. Your turn. traditional plank from the hands with soft straight elbows. This is one of the easiest variations and it's a good one to get started with. Just make sure you're watching your back. You want to make sure you're not arching so that you're not losing tension on your abs, and you want to make sure you're not dipping so you're not pressuring your lower back. Your turn. X crunches for this exercise. So basically, it's just a reach with your hands to the opposite knee. So we're going to get that torso rotation happening. You've got to make sure that your lower back stays on the floor. We're lifting the shoulder blades and just crunching at an angle. Your turn to try this one. Working a supine abs plank for this one. From a supine position, we're just going to lift our legs right up. You've got to make sure your toes are pointy and your knees are nice and straight. And we want to make sure we lift up our head and shoulder blades as well to create that deep abdominal contraction. We're going to hold it there for a minute. Your turn. Lateral reach from a plank for this exercise. So all I'm doing is I'm shifting my weight from one elbow to the other and using the opposite hand to reach out with a straight arm perpendicular to your body. I'm just alternating from left to right and just making sure you're keeping that straight line from your ankle all the way to your shoulder. Your turn to try this one. obliques tilt from a supine position for this one. So knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor, and all we're trying to do from here is you're trying to reach your elbow to your hip bone. So it's a crunch to the side, and then we're going to center ourselves and then go again. Your turn to try it.
Well done for finishing your workout, guys. Please take a few minutes to stretch and cool your body down now.
If you enjoyed this workout segment, please assist us by liking and sharing. Remember to subscribe for your daily workout fix.